a little bit old of our country ever in recorded
what
history
the
into our
fuck just
country.
happened?
And then
What the
the
fuck
worst
just happened?
president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple
These
of months old.
motherfuckers
And
really just
if
tried.
you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
They really just fucking tried. When is the last time you actually heard of an attempt like this actually happening? You haven't. Not since JFK. Or Ronald Reagan, I'm sorry. I don't know yet, I'm still looking. This is real life right here.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move.
I think they hit him. It grazed him. Did you see how he grabbed his ear?
Watch out.
You motherfuckers, you want to come after the Don? You fucked up. You fucked up. That man needs to be protected at all fucking costs now. I hope that whoever did it, they fucking took your ass out. Exactly what those dudes are saying. Fuck you guys who did that. That's the president. This was in Pennsylvania? Oh, Butler, Pennsylvania. Yep. Can't believe they actually hit him, though. If you're not upset, it doesn't matter if this man is a president of the United States or not. He is a world leader. Yes, I'm glad he's still alive, but they just fucked up. Now you're about to have a hugely divided country. And you know who they're going to look at towards this? Joe Biden. Can't blame it on MAGA, can you? I don't know what to say. I never thought I would see this in my lifetime. Goddamn, they're injured in the background. I don't know who fucking thought that was a good idea, but you just made a lot of enemies.
Right. I don't see. Well, I do see people leaving this area. Obviously, this is not. You know, if you're in a position to leave, trying to.
Not about Biden being fucking senile anymore.
The military has moved. Obviously, the Trump team out of here. The military has left along with the motorcycles. So they have left the Miranda, there's a lot of people here in a state of shock, in a state of anger. I mean, immediately after this.
Trump was just shot in the ear, or at least it just grazed him, but it doesn't fucking matter.
Cutting it out. We're cutting it out. On the live was bad. Should I call in on the phone?
Yeah, give me a second. Be a lot of pissed off people today. I'm looking for some stuff, guys. All right, LARP. You hear LARP?
That's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Oh, fuck, what am I doing? Let me do it again, sorry.
Recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
And they're still shooting.
Hold. When you're ready, on you. Ready, move.
Watch these snipe. There they are.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Down. Down.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Clear.
Let's move. Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes.
Got you, sir. I got you, sir.
I'm waiting for them to finally show some update.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay. Shoot down. Get the shield.
Watch out.
Here we go.
Fireworks, just because this is not something that you are expecting when you're at an event like this. We get down on the ground, we hear those continued pop, 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 pop,
I'm
pops.
turning the chat back on.
They kept going. It felt like for a long time for those of us who were here on site. But as you said, listening to it back, it was about 8 to 11 or so of those popping sounds. As the scene started to quiet down, as we stopped hearing those sounds, the former president started to get up, his Secret Service escorting him off the stage. The crowd went from that initial shock, fear, to cheering for him as he stood up, and it was clear that he was not unconscious, but he did seem to be bloody.
They
Then
sure
the
as
crowd
fuck
started to
did.
disperse. In fact, we're being told right now that they would like the media to exit the premises, so that's what we're going to do as soon as we finish this, Jose. Then we got back up immediately to try to tell you what we experienced, what was going on. Again,
Oh,
just
he
a
looks
few minutes
woozy, too.
into his speech here. The crowd also quite angry at the press, and we are now being told by Secret Service that we need to leave, Jose. So I'm going to say goodbye to you for now, but we will keep you posted. I'll post it. I'll phone
Now
you later.
I
if
wonder
we
when
have
we're
more
gonna get word from the
information,
fucking
Jose.
White
Natasha,
House.
thank you
When are
very
they
much.
going to say
Do what
something?
is needed to do. Stay safe and do exactly what authorities are asking
They should be
you to
on
do.
media
I
right
want
now.
to, and if you're listening to us on radio, I want you to listen as well as watch what happened just short moments ago in Pennsylvania at former President Donald Trump's rally. We're going to start from this part and just go right through the whole
If you
incident.
want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Okay, here, move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
You ready?
Down. Shooters down.
Are we good?
Down.
Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Down. We're good to move.
Clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. My shoes.
Watch out.
Wait.
The shooter's down. Where did you
This
see
time
that
around,
from?
as we play back what happened just a short while ago in Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally, I heard at least 13 shots, what appeared to be shots, and there was some different in the intensity or strength of the shots.
Well, they did have
which could
sharpshooters
mean that
looking
there
out.
were a number of, again, shots fired initially, and then there was some responsive shots. We also heard members of security say the shooter is down. Peter Alexander is with us.
I hope he's
our
alive just
Chief
so we
White
can
House
fucking torture
correspondent.
his ass.
Peter, what do we know as of right now? And I understand that President Biden has been informed of what happened.
Jose, that's right. We have been in touch with senior officials at the White House who tell NBC News that President Biden, who is spending this weekend at his property in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, has been informed, has been
You need to be
briefed,
back to the White
by
House.
aides about the situation currently taking place, or that has just taken place at that rally for former President Trump in Pennsylvania. I spoke to another official there who conceded that they are trying to get as much information as they can right now. Clearly, there are a lot of events that are moving very quickly at this time. The president, only moments before this took place, was in church at Rehoboth, and when he exited the church, reporters asked him if he was aware of it or had been informed about it. At that time, he had not been. It's clear at this time he now has. This is clearly a very dramatic moment for this country. Both President Biden and many members of his staff have condemned political violence of all kinds. Nobody anticipated anything of this kind to take place. As someone who travels routinely with the president and formerly with former
because they've been
President Trump
talking about them doing
Mr.
this.
Trump as a candidate.
Remember,
the
Tucker said they would
is
try.
Usually very tightly protected from a great distance as well. As you saw, the U.S. Secret Service quickly swarming the former president before leading him off. You see the SWAT teams who quickly came into position. And I can tell you, having been at many of these Trump rallies, and here's a new picture from one of our colleagues there on the ground, the photojournalists who are in the front row showing the blood on former president's face and clearly on his ear as well. There he is pumping his fist as he was effectively chanting "fight" to those members, his supporters who were there. The perimeter is usually quite wide here, and having traveled with President Biden recently when he was overseas in Europe, I was struck by how wide that perimeter was, with snipers in many areas keeping a very close eye. And I suspect many of our colleagues in law enforcement would communicate that for a former president and now the presumptive nominee on the Republican side, there would have been a very wide perimeter. So now that we are told by law enforcement that it's believed that Donald Trump will certainly survive this incident, immediately the questions turn to how this happened, who's responsible for it, and what needs to be done to help better secure any of these political figures over the course of the next several days and weeks, not the least of which begins with the Republican National Convention that's scheduled to start
next week
on Monday in Milwaukee. A giant perimeter has been built around the Milwaukee arena where they're going to be hosting that event. In Washington, a huge perimeter was built for the NATO summit that President Biden was participating in with world leaders as well. But as I'm speaking to you, I'm checking my phone and texting with colleagues, with staff at the White House for any additional information. Jose, as we gather that, we will, of course, share it with you.
Peter Alexander, thank you so very much. Of course, continue monitoring this for us. I want to bring in retired ATF Special Agent Jim Kavanaugh. He is with us tonight. Jim, and when we look at these images, there is so much that tells people like you so much about the trajectory, where it seems that these gunshots or whatever came from. The president was looking towards his right.
He was looking right at it.
When at least two of what seemed to be gunshots rang out. And then he immediately kind of went towards his right ear as he was dropping. It seems later, Jim,
what if he hadn't turned his head?
There may be up to two what appear to be lines, one right up above his mouth on his cheek going towards his ear, and then one on the lower part of his cheek. What does this tell you, Jim?
Yeah, well, you're exactly right, Jose. I mean, he certainly reacted to his right. I mean, it appears to be he was struck in his right ear. That where it appears to be where all the blood is. We don't know if that blood on the cheek is a wound or just blood spatter. It's hard to tell. But he certainly reacted to his right. He felt the sting on his right, probably his right ear. There's bleachers behind him that are filled, with supporters. But he kind of looks to his right. Now, it doesn't mean that the shot was directly to his right, that came directly from his right. It's just he hit him on the...
Take a look at what happened.
There you see it, Jim.
Yeah.
Jim, stand by. I want to go to Kristen Welker, who has some very late-breaking news.
Here we go.
Jose, Secret Service spokesperson just posted on X saying an incident occurred the evening of July 13th at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service has implemented protective measures and the former president is safe. This is now an active Secret Service investigation, and further information will be released when available. Again, that is from the Secret Service. Everyone just absorbing what has occurred and unfolded in Pennsylvania. We're also getting reaction from a number of the vice presidential.
I think somebody was
potential
hitting the crowd,
picks of
at least one or
former
two
President
people.
Trump. Again, just to reiterate, the Republican National Convention is just days away from getting underway, set to begin on Monday. Senator Rubio posting praying for President Trump and all those attending the rally in Pennsylvania today.
It was
Senator
semi-automatic.
Vance, everyone join me in praying for our President Trump
We
and
have
everyone at that rally. I hope everyone.
sniper rifles in the military that they can hold like a magazine full of stuff, maybe like 5 or 6 rounds, but yeah, and you can put a silencer on it and it sounds just like that. But that was obviously not a silencer. That was loud.
One is okay. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum.
Oh yeah,
Please
Trump
join
is now
Catherine
God.
and me in praying for President
Because
Trump.
now,
his family,
if he had been killed, that would have been a martyr, and no matter who they put on the Republican ticket would have won.
everyone attending the rally today. Carrie Lake, of course, Senate candidate, posting, please pray for President
No, when I
Trump.
saw him, it was
So,
up in the bleachers, but it wasn't right at this
beginning
point.
to pour in from the political world, of course.
This is
as
actually
Peter just
after he was already
reported,
taken off.
President Biden has
It was more
been
towards the top.
briefed. This is the scenario that everyone, of course, feared and was trying to protect against. Certainly, as we head toward the conventions this summer, security is in the spotlight. The questions, of course, now, how could this have happened at a rally for the presumptive Republican nominee? And the questions, of course, will go on from there. How to prevent this from ever happening again. But again, the political world just beginning to absorb what has transpired at this rally in Pennsylvania. Sources, of course, on both sides of the aisle reaching out to say how horrified, how shocked, how in disbelief they are at what has unfolded, Jose.
And
don't think they
Decreasing
would
welcome.
care.
Please stay with us. I want to go
To be
back
honest,
to our investigative
the Secret
correspondent, Tom
Service
Winter,
guys?
with us on the phone. Tom, an update?
Jose, still gathering details at this hour. As you can imagine, things are very fluid. But the initial indications that we have from two senior U.S. law enforcement officials have been briefed on the matter is, first and foremost, former President Donald J. Trump is expected to survive whatever incident this is. So that's the first thing. As far as what this was, what type of incident it is, what might have happened, those are all details that law enforcement is trying to get a handle on. Was this a projectile? Was it a ricochet? Was it something that's
Ricochet
not
off
a gun?
what?
Could have been some other sort of device. Could have been anything else. We just don't know. It's just far too soon to say. And if anybody is in custody, who that person or persons might be and why they did this, all very much a question at this hour as I talk to you.
Oh, you mean right there? I don't think
6:47
anybody was.
Eastern time. So
Shit, you're
we're
right.
doing a lot of
Give me a second.
reporting. Law enforcement, U.S. Secret Service trying to get a handle on it. As you can imagine, federal law enforcement, Secret Service, 7 Eastern time. So we're doing a lot of reporting. Law enforcement.
No, I don't
US
think
Secret
anyone was
Service
down right
trying
there.
to,
They're just crouching.
get a handle on it. As you can imagine, federal law enforcement agencies, and I'm including my reporting with my colleague Jonathan Dienst on this, federal law enforcement agencies are all acutely aware of what's going on and are standing by to provide any sort of information or do any sort of
Dom, I
investigative
don't know
work,
yet. It all depends on
depending
who
upon what
is
they might
responsible.
find. Of course, there'll be questions about security. If this was in fact an intentional act, there'll be questions about the what and the why. But right now, I think folks are still trying to get a handle on the details, the most important of which, just so people understand the current condition of the former president, is that he is expected to survive.
Tom Winter, thank you very much. Stay with us. I want to go to Hallie Jackson,
I
who
don't know,
has
man.
an update from the Trump
still
campaign. Hallie?
Yeah, per a campaign spokesperson, I'm going to read you this statement
I
in
wanna hear
full
from the
as
fucking
obtained by our
president now.
colleague Garrett Haake. The President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. The spokesperson goes on to say he is fine and being checked out at a local medical facility. That is it for now. We do expect more details to follow, but obviously significant now as we're looking at some of these images here, Jose, of the president, former president, being escorted off stage, that he is, in the words of the campaign, he is fine. He is apparently not seriously injured based on what they are telling us, and is obviously being looked at now by doctors. It is an extraordinary moment, to say the least, here, that we are on the eve of the Republican National Convention, that for the
That's
presumptive
the last
Republican
thing we wanna
nominee,
do.
this has occurred, whatever
know.
this is. at a
That's how you
campaign
get
rally
trampled.
just days before he is set to officially accept the nomination. We want to be super careful here because there's still a lot we don't know about motivation, but I will just echo what some of my colleagues have said here, having been to many of these kinds of rallies. There is a security perimeter in place for any time you go to an event with any current or former president. There are mags, there is security, there's a perimeter, and it is usually, obviously, always pretty intense. And so there are going to be a lot of questions here moving forward as to how this could have happened as we're looking at these very dramatic visuals now from photographers who are lined up right there on stage in Butler, Pennsylvania. We have seen a lot of reaction coming in. I know that Kristen just went through some of it from people like Mike Pence, from others in the party.
Yeah, I was trying to figure
saying
out
they are
the
praying
angle.
for the former president. As you see there, the blood on his face as he's holding up his hand. That shot
It
that
looked
we
like he
have
was
been
hitting the
replaying
ear
here,
or
Jose. But
grazed
again, the
in
word
the
from
ear.
the Trump campaign, he is fine, they say, and currently being checked out. We're going to update you the second we get anything more.
Hallie Jackson, thank you very much. I want to go back to Dasha Burns, who was at that Trump rally north of Pittsburgh and has new reporting. She joins us on the phone. She was asked to leave the area as it is considered a crime scene.
Yeah, Jose, that's right. Everyone has now been evacuated. That includes continues Trump staff, that includes
Her
the
signal
press
sucks.
as well. We have our crew has reconvened. We're all together. Working through with our sources what has transpired. I will tell you how we worry about security of these things.
What the?
Every single Trump rally that I have been to many. The security perimeter is very intense.
Oh, that's gonna. Yo, check this out. You're not gonna believe what I just saw. Well, actually, you will believe. But look at this. This is on X. Trump rally shooting unites across ideologies. A shooting occurred at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania, prompting a widespread condemnation of political violence across social media. Users from various political backgrounds and followers counts expressed unanimous disapproval of violence as a means of political expression, emphasizing its incompatible with democratic values and the need for peaceful discourse in the United States. So I'm still waiting on good old Joe, you know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, let me see if there's any more updates before I stop. Hold on. Where the hell am I? Oh shit! Do you know Elon endorsed Trump too, and fucking was gonna start donating to his campaign? I forgot to mention that. And then almost the next day, the very next day, even the Hodge twins. This moment should have flipped a switch inside of every American out there today. Agreed. Freedom Caucus. So far, oh, it's all. Okay, it's going to be all the same across the board right now. And so far, the political analysts are all conservative. Oh, it's because I'm following them. Duh. Anyway, I'll keep watching, and if yeah, if I find anything more, I'm gonna let y'all know. But as of right now, if yeah, yep, you're right, LARP. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna keep watching. I can't really find a lot of the stuff on the news yet, so it's gonna come more and more and more. But like I said, I'll keep y'all updated, and then we'll figure out from here. All right. So y'all have a good night, and if anybody was killed or injured severely. Hopefully the perpetrator gets his just dues, or hers, or them. But anyway, I talked down a little.